Red Sox will, and I mean will, with a capital W, make trades this off season. Just look at the landscape. The free agent class is not great. Let's just call a spade a spade. The free agency class is not great. If the Red Sox want to be creative, they're going to have to make trades. If they want to upgrade their roster, trades will have to be made. Because we know John Henry is not going to go above and beyond and spend a bunch of money. He'll spend, but he also has his limit. And again, this free agent class isn't worth spending a crap ton of money. So the Red Sox will make trades, which means players will be traded away. And we're going to talk about 5 players to be traded away in today's video. Pete Abraham put out an article just about the Red Sox end of season and off season and things like that. And he had this quote, which I thought was very interesting. He said, outside of Crochet and outfielder Roman Anthony, every player in the organization should be on the table to swing trades that would improve the rotation and add power to the lineup. I agree with Pete. I do have a few others. These are my untouchables. Crochet, definitely. He also extended him, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. Anthony, definitely. He's going to be the face of your franchise for years to come. I have Connolly early because I have high hopes for the kid. I really like what I saw this year. I also have Carlos Narvaez. He's your catcher of the future. Catchers are very hard to come by, and if you've locked one down that's pretty damn good, that's invaluable. So these 4 are my untouchables, but I also agree with Pete. I think you should consider the rest of the players fair game. And like I've already said, today I'm going to talk about 5 players that I think could be trade candidates for the Red Sox this season. But before we do that, if the Sox do make a trade, I will have you covered on Twitter. Twitter is also the best place to get instant news. I'm also, retweeting all the beat reporters, putting out my own tweets, giving all of my own thoughts. I also put out polls and photos and fun things like that. I also talk about movies, the WWE, F1, all that fun stuff. If you want to come over and have a dialogue with me, Twitter's the best place to do that. And I'm going to make a deal. I will shout out the next 10 people that follow me on Twitter on tomorrow's video. It's right down there, at Jack Lauderay. That is my Twitter handle. Go over there, follow me, and the next 10 to follow me after this video is published, I will give a shout out on tomorrow's video. 5 trade candidates. Let's do it. I know. But am I crazy? I don't think so. Because I think Jarren Duran is probably the player that is most likely to be traded this offseason. Let's get into the brass tacks. His season was not bad by any stretch of the imagination. 256 average, could be better, could be worse. 774 OPS, not horrible, but also not fantastic. 16 home runs, probably would have liked a few more from him. 84 RBIs, not horrible. An OPS plus a 118, above average batter. But we can also call a spade and say that he was a shell of what he was in 2024. However, there is a man by the name of AJ Preller. If you don't know who he is, he runs the front office in San Diego. And over the past few years, it has been made evident that he wants Jarren Duran and he wants him bad. So it wouldn't surprise me if Preller comes calling again this offseason. And I think you have to take that call. Because let's be honest with ourselves. Let's have a candid conversation here. I love Jarren Duran. I've said this. I bought his City Connect jersey, the Fenway Green, when it came out this past season. But we have to be the adults in the room here and say how the real world is. You can love him as much as you want, but you also have to be real. He regressed offensively this past year. He did. He was a shell of what he was in 2024. His stats on paper weren't bad, but you also have to consider that he had like one outlier month in the middle of the year where he was like scorching hot. And then the rest of the months were just kind of okay. He also did not start every game in the leadoff spot. They were moving him up and down the lineup because they could not find a place for him. His defense is also a liability. If you look at any of like the 7, 8 outfield potential options, you can make an argument his defense is the worst of all of them. Duran is not who he was in 2024, but he still holds value. You have to deal an outfielder this offseason. It's a certainty. It is something that's going to happen. And I think Duran is the one that ends up going. Would you trade Jarren Duran? It's going to be a hotly contested topic all offseason, until something actually happens. So you let me know. Comment yes or no down below in the comments section. I think they do. I would. And I love Jarren Duran. But if the price is right, I think it has to happen. Number 2. Let's talk about Wilyer Abreu. Much like Jarren Duran, he is an interesting trade chip. They are going to trade an outfielder. You're going to see a theme in this video. There's a lot of outfielders on this list. So Wilyer is a very tantalizing chip. And he's a much more interesting trade chip, in my opinion, than Jarren Duran. He's younger. Got more years of club control. He won a Gold Glove his rookie year. And I believe offensively, he's got a higher ceiling. Before he got hurt, he was raking. Now, his stats are, again, okay. Just like Jarren Duran, they're okay. 247 average, that needs to come up. 786 OPS, that also needs to come up. 22 home runs, though. Second on the team. 69 RBIs and a 116 OPS plus. But remember, he was injured for like a month and a half at the end of the year. So you also have to take that in consideration. Duran played basically the entire year. Wilyer didn't. And he outpaced Duran in a lot of categories. And like I said, this is my take on Wilyer in general. He's younger. By, 3 years? He's got a higher ceiling offensively, in my opinion. I think he's got more power than Duran does, and that's a higher ceiling. And again, he won a Gold Glove his rookie year. And that defense doesn't just go away. If the price is right, I think he could be gone. I think of the two, Duran is more likely to be traded. But could Wilyer swing a Joe Ryan trade? If that's the case, I might be open to it. Talk about number 3. Talked about this in yesterday's video as well. I don't think this is other teams wanting him, like a Duran or an Abreu. I think this is the Sox need to trade Masataka Yoshida. They need to offload his contract, which the remaining is 2 years, $37.2 million. Masa's not who we thought he was going to be. Still a good player. Love his running form. All of that. It's all good fun. I think he's a great guy. Got no problem with him at all. He's not who we thought he was going to be. He's not who we paid that large contract to be. Injury issues. Doesn't have as much pop as we probably thought he was going to have. The offense is suspect, although he did show up at the end of the season. He also doesn't lend you much defensively. Again, you've got like 7-8 outfield options. He's one of them. And the fact that he doesn't play the outfield means he clogs up the DH position. If you offload Yoshida's contract, not only are you saving money, but you're adding roster flexibility for this offseason. If you want to go sign a Kyle Schwarber, who might not necessarily play in the field, he could slot directly into your DH and be a more traditional DH, unlike Masataka Yoshida. That is roster flexibility I think the Red Sox and Craig Breslow could desperately use and not have Yoshida take up that spot. Here's another thing. His value might not be any higher than it is right now. I'm not saying it's very high, but he ended the season on a high note. In a playoff race, pushing to the last day of the season, he played well. And then, when the lights were the brightest against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium in the wild card round, he was one of your best offensive players. In 7 at-bats, he had 4 hits, 2 RBIs, and runs were hard to come by for the Red Sox in this series. He only struck out once. He had an OPS of 1.143. Again, I'm not saying his value is the highest, but he left the season on a high note, which is better than any value he would have had at all during this past season. There is a caveat to this, though, and it's a big caveat. If you're going to trade Yoshida, you're not going to do some one-for-one swap. you're going to need to eat some money, or you're going to have to attach a prospect. It's an uncomfortable move. It's a move that the Red Sox, who feel like they have to win every single trade, don't like to make. But again, saving a little bit of money, no matter how much it is, and adding that roster flexibility for the offseason, I think that's valuable, and I think they should do it. I got a question for all of you. Are you a diehard Red Sox fan? I am. Been a Red Sox fan of over 25 years. I live and breathe this team. If you're a diehard Red Sox fan, then subscribe now. This is the place for you. If you want to be the most knowledgeable person in your friend group, your family, your office around the Boston Red Sox, this is the place for you. Daily videos, breaking down roster moves, injury rumors, trade rumors, when they make signings, when they do anything. We're going to have a video for you. Not just long form, but also short form. We're also going to have community posts and questions that you guys can interact with the channel. That's all here on the Red Sox Rundown. Our goal by opening day is 10,000 subscribers. I want to go live for opening day. That's something I want to do. It's not in Arlington this year, so I can't actually go to the game. I want to go live. If you guys want that to happen, if you want to join me for opening day, we got to get to 10,000 subscribers. So if you've not already, hit that subscribe button. I guarantee you, if you give us a week, you're going to love the content that you get. Let's go to number 4. This is going to be a controversial one. I don't love it either, but it's something that we have to talk about. It is a conversation that has to be had. Payton Tolle. Now, I will make a disclaimer here. Tolle would only be traded if it was a major piece in a huge trade. There are the reports that the Red Sox had offered Tolle, along with Franklin Arias, maybe Jhostynxon Garcia, like a combo of those players for Joe Ryan at the trade deadline. That's what it would take. That's what it would take. I don't see a world where they just randomly trade away Payton Tolle for some rando player. Tolle has a lot of work to do. But what he showed this season was at least that there are the makings of something special. 16 and a third innings, only had a few starts, had an ERA of 6.06, a FIP of 6.26, 19 Ks to 8 walks. Like I mentioned, he's got a lot of work to do this offseason. He's got to refine those secondary pitches. Has to. I make the comparison between him and Connolly Early, who we're going to compare here in a second. Connolly Early is a pitcher. Payton Tolle is a thrower of the baseball. Payton Tolle can throw the baseball really hard, but he has not refined, the second, third, fourth layer of what makes a pitcher a pitcher. Doesn't have those secondaries down yet. Has trouble with the home run ball. There's a lot he has to work on. If you compare these stats, Connolly Early is leaps and bounds better than Payton Tolle, at least right now. But that's because Early is much, much more defined. I had Connolly Early on my Untouchables because I really like what I saw this year from him. If I could only keep one, and I'd love to keep both, but I'm saying, if it takes Payton Tolle to get a Joe Ryan trade done, I do that instantly. Because if I only get to keep one, I would keep Connolly Early over Payton Tolle. I love what I saw from Payton Tolle in terms of pure velocity, pure gas. And he seems like the ultimate seam head. He seems like the ultimate baseball lover. I love that about him. But if I only had to pick one, if I only got to keep one, I'd keep Connolly Early. And I would trade Payton Tolle if it meant that you could get a Joe Ryan. It's an uncomfortable conversation, but those conversations have to be had. Would you trade Payton Tolle? Again, this is not going to be like a one-for-one BS swap. He would be a chip in a much bigger trade. But you let me know. T for trade if you trade him. K for keep if you keep him. You let me know. Be honest. I could be completely off my rocker. I don't think I am. I think it's something to look out for. But you let me know down below in the comments section. We're going to finish off with one more prospect. Number 5, Jhostynxon Garcia. This situation is very similar to the Payton Tolle situation. I'm basically going to say everything I said about Payton Tolle this time about Jhostynxon Garcia. It's another instance of I'm not just going to let him go. It's not going to be some random 1-for-1. Jhostynxon Garcia will be part of a big trade if he gets traded. Again, I'm going to be rehashing a lot of what I just said about Payton Tolle. He got limited time in the big leagues this year. What, like a series and a half? Didn't play well. 7 at-bats, only had 1 hit. Struck out 5 times with 2 walks. Like, he's got a lot of work to do. You know, a lot like Payton Tolle. He's got a lot of work to do. And that's okay. He's still a prospect. But he's close. And that's valuable to teams. His ETA is not 2-3 years down the line. His ETA is like, he already made his debut. That's valuable. And if Jhostynxon Garcia, I'm going to say it again, is what it takes to get a Joe Ryan, I would do it. Because you've got young outfielders who are going to be here for a while. Where does he fit in? I don't know. So if the price is right, and Jhostynxon's what it takes to get a Joe Ryan, a Mitch Keller, a Sandy Alcantara, one of them, I do it. I do it in an instant. This is the last question I'm going to ask you, and then we're going to get on out of here. Name a player the Red Sox should trade, and be realistic. I know everyone's going to say, get Tristan Casas out of here. They're not trading Tristan Casas. He has 0 value. I think they still see upside in him. And if he doesn't work out, then maybe you get his value up, you trade him at the deadline. Let's be realistic, people. I named 5 players that I think realistically could be traded. You let me know. You name a player you think the Red Sox should trade. And again, if they make a trade, we'll make a video. That's my guarantee to you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you've not already. I appreciate every single one of you for subscribing so far. Our goal is 10,000 subscribers by opening day. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have the rest of your day. And until next time, go Sox.